The Washington Commanders have a lot of needs on their football team. Let's name it: cornerback, wide receiver, running back, center, linebacker. Linebacker is still one of the needs the Commanders should, in my opinion, need to answer in this year's NFL draft. And in today, we'll be going over players Washington Commanders could select in this year's draft. There are some rules though, so pretty much we're gonna put us in categories. 7. So we're gonna have a top 10. A linebacker that we should take in the top 10. So then if we trade back from the 10 to 20 into the 20 range, we can linebacker in that range, and then another range linebackers that we could select in the 21st, 23rd range if we trade down to even to that spot in this year's draft. And then of course we'll have day 2 and day 3 players. So without further ado, we're gonna hop right into this, but make sure to subscribe. I make all things NFL content, all things NFL draft, and all things Washington Commanders, of course. I'm the Commanders guru, regardless. Come on, man. I try to make all things Commanders content. I try to do the best I absolutely can. So without further ado, let's hop into this video. So starting off, we're going to go into the top 10 range. And for that, we have 2 players, and that's Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles. Arvell Reese might be classified more as a pass rusher at this point in the draft process, but he's a linebacker, and I do think his best game is as the off-ball blitzing linebacker, outside of being outside of a tackle and coming off the edge as a true edge rusher. So he's definitely there. On NFL Draft Buzz, which in my opinion is one of the best places you can go to learn about NFL prospects, especially in this year's NFL draft class, which might get a little bit confusing. He has an elite 40. He's a 97th percentile. He has a really good height. He has below average hands. He has average weight, average arms, and a pretty above average 10-yard split. He prioritizes more in pass rush and run defense, while also in tackling. And of course, not the best at coverage, so that is why people prioritize him more as a edge rusher. But he is a player that you could see going in the top 10. In my opinion, I think he's probably going to be the first linebacker off the board. And this is a player that you can probably see going at 2, 3, or maybe even 4. If the Washington Commanders see him at 7 for whatever reason, I think that's a player that if Jeremiah Love and Colonel Caleb Downs aren't on the board at that point, I think they would be. If that even happens, if he falls to 7, I think you take him. I think you take Arvell Reese at that point. So after getting the anomaly out of the way, we can go into a pure and a true linebacker in the draft class. In my opinion, that's Sonny Styles, who is, in my opinion, one of the most exciting one of the more exciting prospects in this year's draft. This is a player that truly isn't a pass rush merchant as linebacker position, unlike Arvell Reese. He's a player that can be successful in the run and be successful in coverage. He only missed 2 tackles in 14 games. That's elite. What did we suck the most at our defense? That's not the secondary work, which I would make a video about why we should take a DB. Make sure to launch that video. But the second thing I think the second thing we sucked the most at on our defense was the fact that we missed so many tackles. And I know there's a stat out there on Twitter that I saw how bad we were at tackling, and I think Sonny Styles immediately fixes that he just statistically does not miss tackles. He's a true box player, and you can put him in the slot, and you can even put him at the D-line as a disguise the coverage and put him outside, even though that might be a little bit too obvious though. I think this is a player that when all things comes down, I think he might go top 5, he can go top 7. I think most teams past probably the 5th pick would absolutely love to see Sonny Styles available. And I would love looking at Sonny Styles on an NFL Draft Buzz profile. He has elite height, an elite 40, an elite vert. He did has beat the all-time record in the vert and the broad. He is okay in the cone. He has alright. He has good weight, good arm, good shuttle, and in good hands. So and of course his 10-yard split was pretty good. This guy has a 9.99 RAS score, so that already is elite. This guy is really good at tackling, really good at run defense, really good in coverage, and he can pass the rusher if he needs to. Player comps is Peyton Willis, Jamin Davis, and Jack Campbell, which might be Jack Campbell is a great comparison because the guy's an elite player. Jamin Davis is the worst out of the three here, but I do think that this is a player that has more athleticism and is, in my opinion, a higher ceiling and also a higher floor than what we got in Jamin Davis. At the end of the day, Sonny Styles is a player that I would love to see at 7. Obviously, I would prefer probably players like Jeremiah Love, Caleb Downs, Colonel Tate, Master Delane, Jeremy McCoy, maybe even Jeremy McCoy, by the way. His combine, his pro day was really good. And then, of course, I would also maybe even like, maybe one of the edge rushers too, like Ruben Bain, David Bailey, and of course Arbor Reese. But Sonny Styles, regardless, I wouldn't be mad if we take him over some of those players. I think at the end of the day, I think players that I might be a little mad taking him over would be maybe Caleb Downs, and that's it. That's literally it. But Sonny Styles, in my opinion, is a player that would be an absolute elite force in our defense, and I would absolutely love to have him on the football field for the Washington Commanders. Now we're moving on out of the top 10 range. Now we're in the top 10 to the 20 range if we trade back into the mid-teens. The first player that I would maybe even look at, I think it has to be C.J. Allen, just because of his off of his potential and of his age, 2 years younger than another player that I'm about to mention. But this guy is a really good run defender. He's kind of bad in coverage, but he also he's all right in pass coverage. C.J. Allen isn't the tallest, isn't the heaviest, and his arms are not the best. He had a good 40, he has good hands, and he has a good wingspan. He's an elite run defender. He's good at tackling, and he can pass rusher, but his coverage is so bad. He isn't my linebacker too. He isn't. But I would understand why the Commanders, if they trade back and take him over a guy like who I'm about to mention, stay tuned, because of just off of his, you can teach coverage, you can teach players how to play in zone. You can't really teach instincts, unlike the next player I'm about to talk about. But C.J. Allen is a player that I would probably like, and he's definitely in that 10 to 20 range. Alright, here it is. Chico Rodriguez is my linebacker 2 in this year's draft. He is 23, but he's an absolute phenom. He's an absolute phenom. He is probably the best pure linebacker in this year's draft class. Why? He's elite at run defense, and he's absolutely elite in coverage. I rest my case. This guy is an absolute demon. He's an absolute demon. Why is he a demon? Well, I'm gonna tell you why. Why is he a demon? Why? He is probably one of the best players in college this year, and maybe in the past as well, at turning over the football. This guy is absolutely great. This is a player that if we trade back to like the mid-teens, anywhere from the 20 to 20 range, and we take him here, oh my god, I'd be pretty happy. This guy is kind of older as a draft prospect, but he's absolutely great. And the numbers speak for himself. The PFF speaks for himself. He is great, and he's my linebacker too. NFL Draft Buzz doesn't really like him the most, but I definitely like him. He caused 7 fumbles, by the way, which is just great. He's so good at causing turnovers. He is below average in height, weight, hands, and arms, but he has a really good 40. He has a really good shuttle. He has a really good vertical. He has a really good broad, and a good 3-cone, and an alright 10-yard split. Again, I'm telling you, he's absolutely elite in coverage and great in run defense. Only problem is, he's not the best at pass rush, and he could work a little more at tackling, which is pretty evident because of the fact that his arms are just 30 inches and 30 and 7/8 inches, right? 30 inches and 7/8, and his hands are pretty small too, and of course his weight and his height. But I'm telling you right now, this guy is the best player in coverage and run defense. He could just work at just one-on-one tackling because this guy can get low and can get the knees. But when you're talking about wrapping the player around the torso, it might get a little bit scary. But let me tell you, this guy is absolutely worth a top 20 pick. And the Commanders do decide to trade back and take Jacob Rodriguez. I think I'd be pretty happy. And it's a player that, oh my God, might be one of the better players on defense for a very long time. Now when we're talking about 21st to 32 range, I don't think any other linebacker really speaks to me like that. I think either these two speaks to me. I think C.K. Allen and Jacob Rodriguez are just good players that you can take from 10th to 20 to 32. I think there's not really that much of a way to really think about it, in my opinion. I do think these two players are definitely more suited to be picked. Past pick 20, like 21 to 32, but they could be top 20 picks, and that's why I talk to them as top 20 picks, because they could definitely go there, and I would definitely not be mad if we took them top 20 if we traded back. So going into day 2, I'm gonna name some players immediately off of day 2. I'm sorry about that. Jake Golday, Joshua Trotter, Kyle Lewis, Anthony Jr. And there's one more here. Torian York. He's just super fucking small. Jake Golday on day 2. He's really good at run defense. We already knew this. He's alright in pass coverage. Again, this guy's a true linebacker. He's not the best in pass rush. I do assume he's kind of athletic. He is really big. He has ideal height, ideal weight, and I do think this guy has one of the higher. I think this guy also has an elite RAS score as well. So, Jake Golday on day 2, at pick 71. If he's there 71, you want to take him there. I would definitely not hate it. Joshua Trotter on day 2 too could be very interesting. He's more of an RPO reach type player, but he's good at run defense. He's good at pass rush. He's just not the best at coverage. I don't think it's 47.9 coverage grade bad, but I do know it's a little bit below average. It's pretty below average in coverage, but just off of his age, height, and weight, this guy could be pretty athletic and be a good player on the defense at the linebacker position. It might be off the ball, it might be off ball blitzing, it might be on top of the tackle, outside the tackle, but regardless, he could be insane. Anthony Hill Jr. is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated linebackers in this draft class. I think this might be one of the better day 2 linebackers that are selected, and I would definitely not hate him at 71 at all. This guy is 21. He's young. He's a junior. He's 6'3", 238. He has decent height, ideal weight. His best thing he does is run defense. He's an average coverage player. He's alright in coverage, and he's not the best at pass rush, but that's given as a linebacker. But the thing is, though, he does not miss tackles. And that is exactly one of our biggest needs and things that we need to fix on our defense, is not missing tackles, which might just be something that might be very valuable for this coaching staff and for this front office. And that's why Anthony Hill might be a little bit higher than most teams on the Commanders' big board. Then Torian York. Why is Torian York on here? He is literally 5'11". Not 9'5", he's 5'10". and he is below average weight. He's still 20. This is a player that plays in the box. Yeah, he's a little bit small. He misses some tackles, and that's given with his height and weight. But the thing is, though, he's also a better coverage player than you would probably expect. He is, in my opinion, I think coverage from a linebacker is really valuable, and that's what he does the best, and he does it at a really, really good level. He's a good run defender, and he's, of course, and not the best pass rusher, which is given for a linebacker. But we look at the coverage, he can cover, and this is a player that might go late 3rd round, maybe even really early 4th round. And this is a player that if the Commanders trade back to the 90s, from 71 to 90s, and they take him to New York, I think that's great value for the Washington Commanders. And this guy might even go. This guy might go, day 2 regardless. Now we're gonna go into day 3 territory. We're gonna name only 5 players that, in my opinion, could be the best. Immediately speaking, I think another player that I think should be mentioned. Where is he? Harold Perkins Jr. I am an LSU fan, right? He's more of a blitzing linebacker. He's 6'1", 222. But I do think what he does is ideal, and I do think he's more of a developmental piece than given the right. Correct? He's below average in coverage. I'm not going to defend that. I have known this. He is average at tackling, but he's good at pass rush. He's good at being an off-ball linebacker or coming off the slot and blitzing off the slot. That's what he does. I think this is a player that the Commanders can look at day 3 and absolutely snag him, and he can definitely be a great rotational piece. Owen Heineke is also a player that gives you all right upside, right? He's going to be 22 in his rookie year, but he is above average in both run defense coverage and pass rush, and rushing passer, which is actually kind of valuable when you think about it, because, this is just a day 3 player. He has potential. He has a decent ceiling. He has missed, 16 tackles. He has missed 16 tackles off of what we've seen on PFF. But I do think that this is a player on day 3 could be an absolute snag. Here is a left field type player. This is a player that you've probably never heard before, Lander Barton. This guy, yes, he might be below average in run defense. He might be all right at coverage. He might be all right at pass rush. He has maybe missed 28 tackles in the past 2 years, which on average is 14 missed tackles per year. Right. But we gotta look at his frame. This guy is 6'5", 240. This guy has great height and ideal weight. This is a player that you can't teach weight. You obviously can't teach height. You can't teach weight. This is a player that you can snag on day 3 and just develop. A player that you can just develop through the practice squad, throughout training camp, throughout the year, maybe 2 years. And this could be a player that, could be an absolute freak. Could be an absolute freak sub linebacker. Move him in on 3rd downs, and you can have him as a good run defender. Come up the box. You can do what he wants. I do think that this is a good player, in my opinion, and this is a player that you could maybe even look at in day 3. Scooby Williams. Scooby-Doo, where are you? He only played 7 games, but I do think that this is a player that I'm known for, and that I know about, that could be an alright player. From what we've seen, he's good at pass rushing. He's good at pass rushing, and he's good at being an off-ball linebacker, like an off-ball blitzing linebacker. You can also put him at D-line. He's versatile, which, you know what, might not be the worst thing. He's average in run defense, which is all right. I'm not gonna look really down him for that. He's all right. He's a day 3 projected player. I'm not gonna sit here in development. But the thing is, though, he's also pretty good at coverage, which again is really valuable. For me, he has a little bit below average missed tackle percentage rate, which is all right. But Scooby Williams, fun name, and also it's another player that you can probably develop, and could be pretty good. On day 3, there's a lot of things you can do. We have a decent, maybe like around I think 4 day 3 picks, maybe more if we trade down. So you know what, this could be a player that we could probably snag. That is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Big shout out to NFL Draft Buzz. I love this website. It's a great great way to find correct measurements of drills, cone drills, combine weight, all this stuff, hand, arms, all that type of stuff. If you want to know measurables for all of these prospects, go to NFL Draft Buzz. It's an absolute fireplace. And if you want to know more about prospects, know where they line up, if you don't have plus and everything, this is terrible. You want to know where people line up, you can go on PFF, big board, and see where these guys line up. And you can get grades from this year and see just really how good they are. I have plus, I have premium, so you can see how these players develop. So let's look at Jeremiah Love real quick. He has an absolute elite rushing grade, great zone grade, great gap grade, great and elite elusive grade, and great elusive after contact grade. This guy might be elite. So, yeah, that's what I am. So that is what today's video was. This is why the Commanders should select a linebacker and where we could select them. I'll be doing another one for running back and maybe offensive lineman in the next coming weeks before the NFL draft. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe, like the video, comment, share. I don't really mind. Subscribing, anything would do a big favor. I'm just a kid who is trying to grow a Commanders channel. If you're a Commanders fan, make sure to subscribe. Today was kind of rough. I'm sorry. I haven't done this in a bit. I promise you it gets a little bit better. I try my absolute best. So I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure to subscribe. Sorry. Just make sure to eat some good food. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. I'll catch you on Friday. I'll catch you guys tomorrow on Friday for another mock draft, and on Saturday for another by the way, a first ever 7th round mock draft on PFF for the Washington Commanders. See you guys on the flip side. Peace out.